Hi, let's take a look at X-Force issue 7, written by Geoffrey Thorne, drawn by Jim Towe, and colored by Erick Arciniega. Full spoilers ahead, so you're forewarned. This is interesting. We are beginning to unravel some of the mysteries in this book, delving into the problems that have been hinted at for Rachel. It appears she's not able to contain her own powers as she's not healing properly without the Phoenix Force. Betsy has been storing her excess powers and then sending it back to her when needed, i.e. a boost. Also, Betsy and Rachel's past future selves are helping to heal her properly. Here's where things gets a little confusing, especially the part about Rachel not being resurrected by the Five, because she was in Rise of the Powers of X issue 4. We literally saw her come out of an egg. If this is any other titles, I would have said it is a mistake. But Thorne had proven he's pretty good with like characters' histories and deep cards. Not that this is a deep cut. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, we shall see. Hi, Future Tyler here. I think the answer is already in this issue. Mother Ascani was the one who said that Rachel resurrected herself without the Five, and then when La Diabla attacked, Mother Ascani said she had no memories of that. So whatever she said, whatever she thought was affecting Rachel might not be what happened in this timeline. Though Rachel could have said something regarding her being resurrected by the Five, so this explanation might not entirely be watertight. And speaking of characters' history, Thorne is kind of flexing his knowledge again with like 3 different versions of Betsy showing up in this issue, like her current self, her original version from the Captain Britain's comics, and her armored version in the Outback era. He also had various versions of Rachel, including the Days of Future Past version, Mother Ascani, Prestige, and the Marvel Girl version, among others. Like, this is probably going to be underappreciated by casual readers or even confusing, but for long-time readers like ourselves, it is really fun. I mean, not only that, the Mindscape is modeled after Excalibur Lighthouse, which is Rachel's happy place. And we learn that Betsy's happy place is the Outback. Just to clarify, the Rachel versions are all her at different points in time. Rachel is an anomaly in that there's only one version of her. There are no alternate universe version. There are no different versions of her in the entire multiverse. So all the Rachels are time slipping to the present to help hear her. Now, on to Forge and his mystic background. We had said in the review of issue 1 that he's a complex character and that some magic might be involved in the creation of the analog. And even though we did not go there in this issue, Thorne combined Forge mutant's powers and his mystical training to help Betsy gets back into her mindscape to free Rachel. I love that Thorne used that part of Forge's background in this issue. What I find odd though is that bit of dialogue where he called Betsy Lady Braddock. I mean, that just sounds off to me, especially since he called her Betsy in all previous issues. Character voice is usually pretty on point with Thorne, so except for this little bit, I do not feel that characters sounds off in any other ways. Anyway, within the mindscape, La Diabla lets slip a tiny bit of information regarding herself, that she's a scientist at her core. Not that it helps one bit, as there are countless scientists in the Marvel universe. And then Betsy in her Australian Outback era armor form like knife her with a huge psychic sword. And then Colossus dropped into the Blackbird with like something around his forehead, which I presume is either mind controlling him or perhaps, this is an alternate version of Colossus. We get a scene of Tank playing chess with someone over the internet like earlier in this issue. Is that a fake out? Or is Tank playing chess with Magic? I mean, Magic have been doing that over in X-Men, even though in X-Men issue 4, the hand that was shown is clearly Colossus and not Tank's. So I like the art slightly less this issue. I find all the characters' faces, those without a mask, a touch too round, which makes them all look kind of like chubby. But the action scenes are fun, especially with respect to Betsy, and the characters are expressive, even if some of the faces look similar to one another, for different characters. The last bit is more of an observation than a criticism. As we previously mentioned, with respect to Towe's art, that given this is a superhero's book, the similar looking faces are less of an issue because of the character's costume. The same is true here. I agree. I do think that Towe tried to differentiate the faces, even when they are Rachel from different points in time. Not all of them are successful though. The Days of Future Past, Rachel looks suitably haggard and had sunken cheeks, but Mother Askani looks a little too young. The panel where Tank hugged the lovers and their expressions made me smile. Colors wise, this one is also a touch less successful for me. I know the Mindscape colors is supposed to reflect that it is Betsy's creation, which is why there is an overall purplish pink hue to it, which then turned greenish when La Diabla took over. But it reads a little too much of the same color on the same page for me, especially when Betsy is on the same on the page, and everything just looks kind of rather flat. Well, there's also the panel with Colossus, which looks like it has a filter over it, making the colors on that panels appear less saturated because the blacks are not really blacks. I'm not sure why that is the case. In conclusion, I think this is still a 4 out of 5 for me. I like that we are getting answers to some of the mysteries brewing with these characters, and it looks like we are unraveling yet another one next issue. Well, since we are reviewing issue by issue, the Rachel not resurrected by the 5-bit should get dinged slightly until there are further clarifications. This should be lowered to 3.75 out of 5. And there you have it. Please give X-Force a go and see if you like it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please share this with your friends and leave us a comment. Thanks, and Tyler out.